So this is going to be the most important League of Legends video that you're going to see in your life. Okay, probably it won't, but it's going to be the easiest way to gain LP. And that is understanding the ins and outs of surrendering. So let's get into the video. Surrendering, everybody does it. You do it, your teammates do it, your friends do it, even your grandma does it. Actually, no, grandma's kind of hardcore, she doesn't really surrender. But you get the point. Everybody who plays League of Legends has surrendered a game here and there. So what is the perfect surrendering strategy? Let me talk to you about that. But before we get into it, I want to set the groundwork. Before we get into the super hardcore logical stuff, we gotta set the groundwork. And every League of Legends game, no matter the minute or the duration of the game, while the Nexus is alive, there is a chance to win the game and a chance to lose the game. I'm pretty sure we've all had situations where we've been dominating the enemy team, where we're pretty sure we were gonna absolutely smash them, and suddenly, what happens? Our team just loses a couple of brain cells, they start aping out, they start feeding the game, they start throwing, and suddenly you've lost a perfectly good game. I'm sorry. We've also had situations where we were in a pretty terrible spot and we've somehow managed to win. I don't know, the opponents just turned off their brains, started inting, and suddenly we win. Wow. No matter how bad things seem on the surface, you can always win the game, right? It might be a slim chance of 0 point something%, but who knows, maybe an asteroid hits the gaming center that your opponents are in and suddenly they disconnect and die, and then you can win the game. I know it sounds kind of unlikely, but the chance is not 0, so you know, you can always win. We've established that in every single League of Legends game, you have a chance to win the game and a chance to lose the game. Now, these chances change depending on how you play the game. If you make good choices and you play good, the chance to win goes up. If you make the opposite of good, which is bad choices, the chance to win goes down. And then you lose the game. So this fluctuation doesn't stop until one of the nexuses explode. There's always a chance to win the game. Now that we've set that up, I'm gonna tell you what surrendering a game actually means. Surrendering a game in League of Legends means forfeiting your remaining chance to win to your opponent. It means giving them free LP. Let me give you a concrete example so we can visualize it together and you can understand it. We're gonna look at a player named Leonidas. Let's say our player has LP or ladder points gains of about plus minus 25 LP per game. Now, Leonidas is playing a game of League of Legends, a classic League of Legends game with a bunch of brain-dead teammates that Riot has put on their team, and things are not looking too good for them. They're down a bunch of gold and even losing in some objectives. So let's assume that this is a very bad spot. Let's assume that Leonidas only has a 10% chance to win, which is on average about 1 in 10 games in this spot he's going to win. So now the game hits 15 minutes and the surrender vote is called. Let's look at the impact that surrendering has in this spot. So this is going to be a little bit of math. Stick with me. It's not very difficult. I promise you. I will explain it to you. It's going to be very easy. I know you want to click off. I know you're scared of math, but chill, okay? Just chill and follow me here. So the impact of surrendering the game from this spot is going to be plus 25 LP that you would gain for the win times 0%, because you have 0% chance to win when you surrender, minus the 25 LP you are going to lose times 100%, because when you surrender, you've lost the game. Therefore, the expected outcome of surrendering in this spot is going to be minus 25 LP. Now, let's look at a situation where Leonidas doesn't surrender. He grabs his balls and he says, no, we're not going to surrender. We're going to fight to the last drop. If he didn't surrender, the expected result would be plus 25 LP for the win times 10%, which is his chance to win, only 10%, minus 25 LP times his chance to lose, which is 90% in this case. It's not 100 because we did not surrender. So the expected result of this decision is going to be minus 20 LP. Now, if we compare these two, surrendering the game in that spot is just gonna flat out lose you 5 LP. You're gonna lose 5 LP for pressing that goddamn yes button on the surrender vote. That's it. So Leonidas is a smart cookie. He decides, no, I'm a warrior, I'm a fighter, I'm not gonna surrender, and he plays his game out. He votes no, and he gets his ass whooped and still loses 25 LP. But it doesn't matter, because Leonidas, he knows that in the long run, if he makes this decision enough times, he's actually going to gain LP. So what that means is if Leonidas is faced with this situation in 10 out of, let's say, 100 games, which isn't very rare, I'm pretty sure people surrender more than 10 out of their 100 games, but if he surrenders 10 out of his 100 games, he will lose 50 LP more than if he just played them out, because his LP gains are plus minus 25, so instead of losing one game, he would win one game, which would increase his win rate by 1%. So him not surrendering in that spot has actually gained him 50 LP more and increased his win rate by 1%. So this was a example with a very tough situation where Leonidas only had a 10% chance to win. From my experience, a majority of games you're going to have a lot more than 10% chance to win, because people grossly underestimate their chance to win in bad games, and they grossly overestimate their chance to win good games. Surrendering games with a higher chance to win will also have an even higher impact. So instead of it being a difference of one game or a 1% win rate, it can go up way, way, way further. So even winning players who are good at the game, who have a over 50% win rate, can become losing players just because they press that goddamn surrender button. So a good rule of thumb for you, the viewer, would be to never surrender. Especially never surrender a game that is far from its conclusion. Don't surrender at 15, don't surrender at 20 minutes. If you're gonna surrender, wait for the enemy team to be in your base, have aced you, and you're just gonna lose the game. So there's about 3 situations that I would recommend surrendering even being a viable option, considering surrendering being a viable option. So number 1 is exceptional circumstances that would ruin your mental. Let's say you're playing a jungler, for instance, things are not looking good, your team is losing, and for some reason you're playing with chat turned on, I guess you hate yourself or something, and your team just is piling on you. They're pinging you, bait pinging you, rip bait ping. Yeah, there's no more bait ping, I just forgot. Anyways, they're pinging you, they are cursing you out in chat, and all of this is putting pressure on you, putting you on tilt, and that tilt is going to ruin your next couple of games. The second spot is you're a Smurf with an incredibly high win rate. Let's say you have a win rate of 80%, and you just need to get the volume of games in so that you can climb, because you know you're gonna climb 100%. I mean, you're smurfing on new players. I have no idea what kind of pleasure you're deriving from it, but I guess good for you, you sick f***. In that situation, surrendering games is completely fine, because you know you're gonna keep winning. You just need to get the volume of games in as fast as you possibly can. And situation number 3 is you're a very good at determining your win chance. So you're probably not, so don't even think about this. Now, the closer the game is to the end of the game, the better your estimates are going to be, but most of the time, this is not a reliable thing. I think this is only reliable for like top players, challengers, grandmasters, so don't bother trying to estimate your chance to win. So now that you understand the ins and outs of surrendering, you're gonna know to not be that guy. You're not gonna be the guy who starts the surrender vote. You're gonna be the guy who says no to surrendering. You're gonna win the game. You're gonna focus, give your best, and improve. And eventually, you're gonna be sitting up there looking at your past teammates who Riot has cursed you with, and you're gonna say, "Ha! Look at me. I'm up here. You're down there. That's because you surrender and I don't. And now I'm playing with a bunch of better players who are also griefing my games and also trying to surrender every single fucking game. So I gotta get even better so that I can climb, and I have to get Challenger 1, otherwise..." Yeah, you're gonna be the player who plays out their games, you're gonna give it your all, you're never gonna surrender, and when your opponents surrender, you're gonna thank them for the LP that you gained, you're gonna crush the ladder, and you're gonna climb and improve. And all because you didn't press that goddamn surrender button. And now, I have one more super ultra secret tip that's going to increase your rank about 10 times, and that tip is to just always do... Well, would you look at the time? I guess that's it. It's over. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.